Now, how do these things happen? Based on my experience, I'm beginning to think that maybe the police need to begin to speak to their different districts more effectively. You know, there's a little confusion in the minds of many policymakers, especially those remote from Tamale, when it comes to our local governance system. The Tamale North constituency is in the Sanargo district. I'm just taking advantage of this to do that education. So in Tamale, the greater Tamale, we have two assemblies.
Okay.
Or two districts. Let me put it that way. So you have the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly, and then you have the Sanargo Municipal Assembly. So the Tamale Central and Tamale South constituencies are within the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly, and the Tamale North and Sanargo constituencies are within the Sanargo municipality. So I even remember that the Tamale Metro Police Commander had to ask someone to draw my attention that we had not informed him of my campaign launch, and so they were unable to provide security. And we had to remind him that we fall under Sanargo Municipal, and so we informed the Sanargo Municipal Commander because it has a police unit there. So it is very likely that whilst Tamale North was applying for a health walk to the Sanargo Municipal Assembly, maybe Tamale Central NPP was also applying to the Tamale Metro.
Yeah.
And they would have both granted it without knowing.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
The tax. That's why I'm saying there's a need perhaps for their various districts to be speaking to each other more. So fortunately, we didn't have that. Even though they had their event, we also had our motor ride successfully.
When I saw the report,
yeah.
I was thinking, how did the two parties clash?
Yeah.
You know,
how did they get permits on the same day, on the same route? You know, so that's my first thought on this matter. But you were spot on when you said that these things happen repeatedly, not merely because we sit on television panels and radio panels and have heated
literally
arguments.
Disagree.
I don't think it has so much to do with that. It's just the inability of the system, the inability of the government of the day in most cases to deal drastically with people who engage in these acts, even when they are identified, even when they are known. I mean, you recall the hooliganism of young men in the Ashanti region somewhere 2017, 2018, when they even had the audacity to storm a courtroom, manhandled a lady judge, and stormed the regional security council and dragged the security coordinator out. And what became of their faith later? You recall. Now you also recall the Ayawaso wagon incident, where a commission of inquiry was set up to waste our money. To waste our money because nothing was implemented from the commission of inquiry. When people were asked to be held responsible for their indiscipline and irresponsible acts, nothing happened to them. What did we have? Annie, because we did not do anything about Ayawaso wagon. In the general election, for the first time since 1992, 8 people were shot dead because we did nothing about Ayawaso wagon. And sadly, and every time I talk about this, I have to remember that His Excellency the President, in his acceptance speech, referred to those lives that were lost for the first time in an election in this country as few lives. Until date, has not even extended condolences to the families of the deceased, have not opened any investigations into it. As if to say that he actually didn't mind stepping on dead bodies to form his government, because that's actually what he has done. And he has done nothing about those lost lives. The last time the chairman of the police council and now flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party was asked about this, and you heard the shameful response that he gave. A response that simply showed that he was not responsible as police counsel enough to follow through for justice to be done for the 8 families, or he simply couldn't be bothered about those lost lives because he acted clueless about investigations this far into those incidents. And if that is our attitude as a people to such behavior, we are, like His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has said, inching close to a point where citizens will have to begin to take the laws into their own hands in such matters to defend themselves.
He made a statement that I was very uncomfortable. I don't even want to repeat. The phrase.
Which is what?
2 minutes.
Which is what?
Which is what?
What John Dramani Mahama said.
Which is
that
what?
We're inching to a point where we're going to have something. I don't want to.
A bloodbath.
Oh, Kasa,
Let us not be afraid to warn ourselves.
No,
listen, Annie,
you see,
today, in fact, this morning,
over 2 minutes.
that is what
sending
we do.
very gruesome pictures on
so
our
you see,
minds.
the fact that you are afraid to paint that picture
means it's bad.
does not mean it will not happen.
It cannot happen, and it shouldn't happen.
You see, that is a mistake we make in this country and sometimes in our public conversations. You need to let people know the danger that is ahead to avoid it.
Okay.
You don't pretend that that danger will not happen and that danger cannot happen, only for it to face you. Whoever thought since 92 that policemen and army officers could open guns on civilians during an election process? Whoever thought that could happen? Haven't we seen it? Haven't we lost lives as a result? And so if next time a civilian is going to the polling station and carries his license weapon,
Suhuyini has spent more than 10 minutes.
Oh.
and carries his license weapon, are you going to blame that civilian? Because the police officers and the military officers who are stationed at the polling station to protect them in the last election became murderers. Became their murderers. And so if you do not paint the picture that if such acts are not condemned and punished, people next time may come to the polling station with their own licensed weapons.
In fact,
and if they do so, and the police and the army are not checked, and they open fire, what do you think is going to happen? Exchange of fire.
I spoke with a...
So let us not think that some of these things are impossible.
I spoke with a security analyst yesterday on the news who said the police picked up some suspects, and after some hours, they were released. A report from the community.
Meanwhile, Oliver is still in jail for taking a key from a vehicle.
And reports from the community where the people are
denied bail.
They were jubilating with white powder.
Yes.
So he said he was going to follow through with the updates because someone called him from the community and gave him the information. So he was going to follow through. So when I saw the release this morning from the police, I was wondering, okay, so who are the guys who were arrested and then
for all you know, they granted the
exactly
bail due to pressure. They are now saying the person is declared wanted.
We need to
but
find
see,
out
I'm
exactly
saying that if we do not, I just gave you the example of Ayawaso.
Yes.
I also happened before the 2020 elections. Nothing happened to those who were engaged in it, and as a result, our election was more bloodier than ever since 1992. Let us not make that mistake again of not punishing these people. Otherwise, our 2024 elections may just be more bloodier than the 2020 elections.
We hope it doesn't.
Hope alone is not enough. Action is important.